Alright, love, what is it? How do we get more? And is it a culturally limiting belief? Yeah, this is a good one. So, essentially, we need to do love in the subconscious bodily temple for the higher realms if you want to do it properly, rather than just talk about it. So, how do we do that? Well, of course, it's essentially the purity of the blood of Christ consciousness through all the organs, minus the lymphatic system. Because the lymphatic system is a gunk, it is stopping the blood flow, it is going to stop us from giving love as much as we possibly can. And, of course, so detoxing is always the way for these things, always has been, always will be, throughout history of every esoteric and spiritual tradition. You've just got to earn it. So, and then let's look at it on the scale of consciousness. Because love is 500. Beautiful, it's coming from the heart, but every point is to the power of 10. So let's go higher because it goes to 1,000. And why limit 500? It's just not enough. So how about we go to multidimensional orgasmic bliss? Yes, please. Because I've channeled these things in different healings and ceremonies and things. Love is great. It's so limited. You've got 500 times 10. Whoa! Enlightenment's at 700. So at least get to enlightenment, which is essentially raising your kundalini. And that should be done within 2 or 3 years if you're good at it. So, if we have, gurus and spiritual teachers who are promoting and preaching love, that is beautiful. We love that. Are they doing that because, one, that's all you can handle? And that's all you can perceive, and that's the message that you need to get for more self-love. What happens if you've already embodied that? And hang on, then you start asking the question, is that guru or spiritual teacher or person preaching love subconsciously projecting that because that's what they need? Because they haven't fixed up their heart. It's not really the heart, it's always the purity of the blood, which has to go through everything else. And it's a little bit more tricky to do that because we can all just sit there and breathe through our hearts and think that that's wonderful, and it is, it's great. But what does the heart do? It's a valve for the blood flow, so you have to fix up all the organs and detoxify and cleanse to get a great body shape, which is what Vitruvian man and Vitruvian woman have been teaching us the whole time. This, Jesus on the cross, is also showing you what's going to happen to your body by going through fasting and cleansing. You might lose a little bit of weight, but then of course when you bring it back, perfect subconscious bodily spiritual development, Vitruvian man is the thing to aim for, and all of the esoteric traditions have been showing us that for a long time. Yeah, big difference, eh? And also, if we're doing it in the chakras, the heart, well that's chakra number 4. We got 3 more. Let's get higher, shall we? How do we do that? Again, we need to purify the blood and then get the nervous system pumping so that the thyroid can come up to have clear thoughts and actually get quality brain function, which is the absolute key to the higher realms. How do we do? Well, and why? What's the deal with that? Well, let's look at it, shall we? Nervous system. This is the thyroid where the nervous system thought processes have to go through to the brain if it's awakened. And it connects down here in the sacral, so along the vagus nerve. So the vagus nerve goes up along the spine, up to the right side of the brain. So it is definitely we need to feel, because that's our feminine center. And then that connects to the outer realms, outside of our body, once it's awakened and enlivened. And I can tell you, if you can get your nervous system rather than just your blood into orgasmic bliss, that's freaking amazing. And it's absolutely wonderful. So love, limitation. Let's get our nervous system, which therefore is going to connect to the higher realms and with more higher chakras than in the major 7, which is essentially for the amateurs. So if the person is still coming from the heart, it's great to deliver from there, absolutely. But if they're preaching love and coming from the heart the whole time, that's what they subconsciously need to work on, because they haven't got to the higher centers yet. And that's where all the fun games are. Because, let's face it, 10% of our brain in our emotional centers divided by 7 emotional centers, that's not a lot of brain function left for quality perception. Not much. What, 2%? 10 at best. When you awaken higher centers, well, then you've got another 90% available, and then everything becomes so much easier for your growth. It really does. You start to see things for what they actually are, and that's not good for me because that's the society belief. And then you start finding out that, oh, hang on, spiritual communities and spiritual groups and teachers are limiting themselves to their own cultural beliefs by preaching love. It's not enough. Well, I just said it was enough for them. Subconsciously. Interesting. Huh? So, it's just such a limiting belief. And then, of course, a belief itself, and love is an emotion, which is a 4th dimensional awareness. A belief is a 5th dimensional awareness. Let's get rid of those because it goes to 7. And in the 6 is the cause all body. The causal body. All the causes are in the body. Fix the body, the beliefs and the emotions disappear. And that's when you get multidimensional love and bliss coming straight in, which is absolutely somebody.